And I remember as a child feeling, wow, there's no safety in my house, and look, there's no safety in the world. And all of that came right up when he, first of all, when he announced, I was like laughing. I have put in that request by tweet.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to hear, but nothing really. Well, he was on that little escalator down with the fake crowd going, look, here's my wife who loves me, and she's like, how do I get out of here? Right?
Imagine a world leader who explodes with rage at the slightest criticism, yet has his finger on the nuclear button. According to Rosie O'Donnell, we don't need to imagine. That's exactly what Trump represents. In her scathing comedy special, O'Donnell referenced the professional assessment of psychiatrists who felt a duty to warn the public about Trump's mental state. Was she just landing jokes or highlighting a genuine national security concern? Trump's immediate meltdown on social media might tell us everything we need to know. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. When 27 psychiatrists collectively throw out their professional rulebook to sound the alarm about a sitting president, it's worth paying attention. In an unprecedented move that shattered the long-standing Goldwater rule, these mental health professionals contributed to the dangerous case of Donald Trump, a sobering assessment that Rosie O'Donnell brilliantly wove into her recent comedy special. The Goldwater rule isn't just some minor professional guideline. It's been the ethical backbone of psychiatry since 1973, explicitly forbidding psychiatrists from diagnosing public figures they haven't personally examined. This ethical boundary exists for good reason, preventing reckless armchair diagnoses that could weaponize psychiatry for political purposes. Yet these 27 professionals felt so alarmed by Trump's behavioral patterns that they deemed it their moral obligation to speak out, believing the danger to public safety outweighed their professional constraints. O'Donnell's comedy didn't just regurgitate this information.
It's been really, we've sort of made the joke on the show that he's flip-flopped on everything except you.
It's actually very true. And she's the prostitute. And who is he? He's the moral arbiter of 20-year-old behavior now, right? So then I said, some facts that I just went on Wiki. I have put in that request by tweet.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to hear, but nothing really will.
She translated complex psychological concerns into razor-sharp observations that resonated with audiences. With her trademark bluntness, she highlighted Trump's apparent inability to regulate emotions, particularly his disproportionate rage responses to criticism. While most politicians develop thick skin, O'Donnell pointed out Trump's seemingly contradictory nature, a man obsessed with projecting strength who simultaneously appears profoundly wounded by the slightest criticism. Have you noticed how he melts down completely when anyone questions his crowd sizes? O'Donnell asked in her special, referencing the infamous dispute over his inauguration attendance. It's not just disagreement, it's full-blown tantrum mode, as if his entire identity is under attack. This observation isn't merely comic exaggeration. Trump's public meltdowns provide disturbing evidence that validates these professional concerns. Remember when journalist Serge Kovaleski gently corrected Trump's claims about Muslims celebrating after 9/11? Trump responded by appearing to mock Kovaleski's physical disability during a rally. When Gold Star parents Khizr and Ghazala Khan criticized him during the 2016 campaign, Trump didn't just disagree, he launched a sustained attack on a grieving family, suggesting Ghazala wasn't allowed to speak due to her religion. Most concerning was the 2019 NATO summit when world leaders were caught on camera apparently mocking Trump, leading to his abrupt departure from the conference. For any other president, this might have been a minor diplomatic hiccup. For Trump, it provoked a reaction so severe he canceled a scheduled press conference and left an international summit prematurely. These examples aren't just embarrassing political gaffes. They reveal a troubling pattern about someone who, as O'Donnell pointedly noted, had access to nuclear launch codes. We're talking about someone who goes absolutely apeshit when criticized having control over the most powerful military on Earth, she remarked. How is this not terrifying to everyone?
That were easily accessible since this campaign began. That he is bankrupt 4 times, that he got all his money from his father. And I remember as a child feeling, wow, there's no safety in my house, and look, there's no safety in the world. And all of that came right up when he, first of all, when he announced, I was like laughing.
If Trump gets indicted, it would be really great if Mueller let you serve the papers.
Well,
I feel like...
I just thought it would never happen.
Same here. So I've been wrong at every turn.
I said to my therapist, I got this new show, SMILF, but I have to go to Boston to start shooting.
The most striking validation of O'Donnell's observations, Trump's own response to her comedy special, which followed his predictable pattern with eerie precision. Within hours of the special airing, Trump unleashed a barrage of social media posts calling O'Donnell washed up, disgusting, and a total failure, essentially performing the exact behavior pattern she had just described to millions of viewers. It was like watching someone read the warning label on a product and then immediately demonstrating why the warning exists. Perhaps the most illuminating part of O'Donnell's routine was her deconstruction of the stark contrast between Trump's carefully crafted apprentice persona and his actual behavior. For years, clever editing and dramatic music created an image of Trump as a decisive, emotionally controlled business genius. The reality, as revealed through his unfiltered presidential behavior, suggests something quite different. A man whose emotional regulation appears to fluctuate wildly depending on whether he feels praised or criticized. The Apprentice gave us Boardroom Trump, heavily edited to look competent and in control, O'Donnell observed. The presidency gave us Twitter Trump at 3 a.m., rage typing in all caps about perceived slights. Which one seems more reflective of his actual mental state?
You know, there was a Tara O'Connor, I believe her name was, a young Irish lass who was Junior Miss Trump Atlantic City pageant sexist winner.
And did it sort of start? It started from The View, yes?
The View.
Yeah.
He was on that little escalator down with the fake crowd going, look, here's my wife who loves me. And she's like, how do I get out of here? You know, right?
What makes comedy like O'Donnell's so vital in our current political landscape is precisely its ability to cut through complexity and speak uncomfortable truths. While psychiatric terminology and professional assessments might feel abstract to many Americans, O'Donnell's straightforward observations about Trump's behavior patterns resonate because they connect to observable reality that viewers have witnessed themselves. Comedy isn't just about making us laugh, it's increasingly becoming our most reliable translator of complex political realities. Rosie O'Donnell's approach to discussing Trump's temperament represents a crucial democratic function, making psychological concepts about leadership accessible to everyday Americans. Rather than burying these insights in academic language, her humor serves as a bridge between expert knowledge and public understanding. The Nixon presidency provides a historical parallel worth examining. During Watergate, Nixon's emotional instability significantly impacted his decision-making capacity, eventually contributing to his downfall. Political scientists have long recognized that a leader's ability to regulate emotions isn't merely a personal matter, it's fundamental to responsible governance. The question voters should consider isn't about Trump's comedy preferences, but whether leadership qualities should include emotional stability. When nuclear codes and military authority rest in the hands of any president, their psychological fitness becomes everyone's concern. O'Donnell's comedic lens allows us to process this uncomfortable truth. Emotional regulation isn't just a personal virtue, it's a non-negotiable qualification for anyone seeking to lead a nation.